Hey guys, Ron from FunctionBuilt-Aquatics. Now it's been a minute since the last time I actually shot an update on the Hendra fry. And what we're looking at up in the top right hand corner of the dark fish, looking at a male or female that's probably close to 7 weeks old. It's probably the oldest of the group in this tank. There are some fish in this tank that are actually 7 weeks old. And then there are also some fish in here that are less than a week old. Most of those guys are actually hiding in the leaves and in the rocks. They don't usually make themselves seen too often. What I've learned so far is Betta Hendra, both the adults and the fry, are not big on predation of their siblings or their young. I've been able to keep pretty much all of the fry in this tank with the adults. And the adults eat voraciously. I feed them blackworms, bloodworms, brine shrimp, daphnia, cyclops. Even sometimes I'll catch them picking on the microworms, as small as the microworms are. But they will not prey on the fry. They have not eaten any of the fry. I mean, for the most part, this tank has tons and tons of them in it. And I've left most of them in the tank. I have tried from time to time to take some of the larger ones out and put them in 2.5 gallon tanks to grow out. But at some point I realized it was basically just a waste and just stressing out the fish. This is the clay pot that all of the fry have actually come from. The pair goes inside this clay pot, build the bubble nest. This has been their choice location, and every spawning has actually come from this clay pot that's suction cupped with a super strong high-end suction cup to the glass. I can remove it, I can place it, I can adjust it, but it doesn't come off. This tank actually has the humid air level like I like to maintain in my betta tanks to help the betta fish develop their labyrinth organ, which allows them to breathe air. Super critical for fry. If you do not have this humid layer of air, and the water temperature and the air temperature are two different temperatures, drastically different, like for example if the water temperature is 75 degrees and the air temperature 70, that may not seem like a whole lot, but that can actually affect the development of the labyrinth organ, which allows betta fish to actually breathe air like we do. Not exactly the same way, but for the most part they don't have to rely on just breathing through the water and gills. At some point, I'm not exactly sure when, these fish switch over from synthesizing oxygen through their gills to actually breathing air from the surface of the tank. And they have all these little pockets in the surface where they go up and take a breath. So without that humid layer of air, you could affect the whole development of the labyrinth organ and actually kill your fry. I've had that happen with gouramis the first time I bred gouramis, and I promised I would never let something as simple as that happen again. So the count in this tank, I have no idea. Well over 100 for the most part. They're all getting fairly big for what Hendra grow. But they're not a very fast growing betta fish. For the most part, they grow pretty slow. Eventually in time these guys will come out and then they'll go into a larger grow out tank, larger volume water, until I start separating them in pairs, of which I'll put them inside the 1 gallon jars I have as pairs, and then we'll start selling the excess pairs that we do have. So you guys will definitely hear from us when we're ready to actually find some new homes for the majority of these fish. We will keep some, but most will get sold. So this is an update. November, I believe 17th or 18th. Betta Hendra, 7 weeks old for the oldest. Some of these guys are anywhere from 1 to 5 weeks old. Thank you guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for your support. Thanks for hanging in there. I know not all of my subscribers are big betta fans, but I'm hoping that we're turning you on to something different and letting you see the other side of what betta fish actually look like. They're not all living in little tiny Dixie cups in Walmart. There are some really cool wild betta fish out there. Hopefully we can bring some of that stuff to you guys. Thank you very much. See ya.
Philosopher? Yes. 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 Yes.